Here are the 5 fail-proof business ideas for you to invest in Africa as a young African entrepreneur who is based in the diaspora and has access to funding, or even if you're based in Africa and you have access to capital. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, the health sector. Generally, in Africa, people don't have access to hospitals, clinics. People are traveling from Africa to India, to Europe sometimes, to seek medical assistance. It's not that we do not have the medical personnel or the medical expertise. We simply do not have the resources like the latest machines and the latest technology that we need to do better procedures. What does this mean for you as a young African who's in the diaspora and has access to funding or access to money? This is a big opportunity. Remember, Africa has the fastest growing population, the youngest population as well. That means you will be spoiled for clientele. You will always have clients. Healthcare is a basic need. Those people that seek procedures outside of your home countries will not have to travel and make those expensive trips to India, to Europe, and pump out thousands of US dollars to get procedures done. You can offer that service in form of a hospital. You can build a hospital, you can build a clinic. And this is happening in my own home country. People are building private hospitals to cater for this growing need of people that need medical attention but cannot access those in the ordinary government hospitals. Now they find themselves having to leave the country. So that is an untapped market that needs investors. We don't need foreigners to come in and take advantage of this when we have Africans that have access to the money. We have the medical personnel, we have the medical know-how. We are even exporting doctors and nurses, surgeons, professors in the medical field. We are exporting into Europe, into North America. So we have the knowledge, right? All we need is the resources. So this is a chance for any young African entrepreneur who is serious about making money. The second investment idea that is fail-proof in Africa, for sure, education. And now it doesn't matter, is it primary education, secondary education, tertiary education, or vocational education? All these sectors, they are short of resources. We have the fastest growing population. We have the youngest population in the world. All these people need to learn from grade 1 or elementary school, as you call it, primary school, high school. You have a lot of children that are being born on a daily basis. Where do you think those kids will learn? Our own government or our own governments in Africa are not building schools fast enough to match the growing population. This means it's an opportunity for you as an African entrepreneur. You already know the terrain, you already know your home country. So this means that you won't have problems navigating or establishing your business. You can go into vocational training. You can set up a college for people that want to learn life skills, building, carpentry. There are a lot of course options that you can offer at your vocational college. You can even build a private university. There are private colleges already. So it's not like something new, but you will tailor make your college or your private college, your private university to be budget friendly. So there's the government universities, which are relatively cheap, and then there's the private universities, which are so expensive. You will come between the government university and the private university and offer a good service for a reasonable amount of money. Now, transport and logistics. Africa right now doesn't have a very good road network. Even transporting goods from point A to point B can be a nightmare. Whether you're using the railway lines, you're using haulage trucks, you're using cargo, air cargo, it's a nightmare. And half of the continent is landlocked. So what does it mean? This presents a perfect opportunity for you to invest in transport and logistics. It can be movement of goods, it can actually be movement of people. There are places that are so remote that are not connected by any buses. There are very limited private players that are currently in that sector. So at this point, you can consider getting into transport and logistics. We have a lot of people that are moving from point A to point B on a daily basis in the major cities, even in the rural areas. Every day someone is going somewhere. The whole idea is for you to study different areas in your country and find which one is underserved, and you can serve that market. Agriculture. And this one is like, it's a debatable topic because young Africans still have that colonial mentality where they think that agriculture is some backward type of business, it's not lucrative, or it's for poor people, when the opposite is actually true. It is a lucrative business, and I am not talking about the old type of farming or the old agricultural practices of using the hoe and the donkey scotch cards and whatever. No, I am talking about precision farming. I'm talking about horticulture. I'm talking about diversified crop rotation on a yearly basis. You can be farming avocados for export. Remember, Africa has fertile land, has the perfect weather most of the time. We have the water, we have the natural resources to be able to do farming without even having headaches like they have in desert countries like Dubai, like Israel. We should be able to export a lot of agri-produce from Africa going into the Western countries, into Asia, into Gulf countries, because we have the land, we have the manpower, we have the natural weather. All we need is money. And this is where you guys in the diaspora come in and invest. There is a lot to export. Almost any type of food can be exported. And I'm not talking about farming of agri-foods only. We are also talking about fish farming. We're also talking about export of beef or animal products. Export of animals and animal products. That is also another sector that is very underserved. And the people that are making it, sadly, they're actually foreigners. Right now, there is an influx of foreigners in countries like Tanzania that are farming avocado. Them colonizers are back as investors. I don't know. It's up to you as a young African. Like, why would you want to see the resources of your own country being used or taken advantage of by an investor whilst you're there? You can be an investor in your own country. We need to take advantage of that. And in agriculture or agri-produce, you will never fail because people are always eating. Even during the war, people will always eat. So there is no way you can get into agriculture and fail because you still have the local market to serve. Before you even serve the international market, you will have a market locally. It's all about strategic placement of your products during the year. You don't have to farm a product that is flooded during a certain month of the year. You plant and harvest strategically. Fintech. This is a rather underserved sector in Africa. We do not have enough technology to cater for the daily transactions that are going on, to cater for our banking. I'm not saying that we don't have anything. We do, but we are still a little bit behind. And whilst I know that countries like Nigeria have very good fintech startups or fintech companies that are doing better or doing well, what about the rest of Africa? We need payment platforms that will connect trade from Africa into Asia, into Europe. We have young African entrepreneurs that are finding it hard to send money to China, send money to Europe, to source raw materials or to pay for services for their businesses because we do not have reliable transaction platforms. One day PayPal is working in your country, the next moment it's banned. The next day Stripe is working, next day it's not working. We also have entrepreneurs that want to sell their products worldwide, even on Shopify. We can't do that in most countries because of those barriers, like your payments, who's collecting your payment, where is it going, how is it going to reach you, all those things. And also you find that your own country cannot access Shopify because of restrictions. So we need entrepreneurs that can go around those restrictions legally, of course, and really need this service. I've given you all the ideas. Now it's time for you to do your research. Do not forget that Africa has the youngest population, the fastest growing population, and it's the most populous continent in the world. All these numbers work in your favor in the type of businesses that I have outlined as fail-proof investment opportunities in Africa. See you next time.